Welcome in once again, guys. We're here to feed that Yu-Gi-Oh cardboard addiction, guys. You guys already know. Saku's in the building. Sakurasu himself, and Vengeful Shadows, guys. And the fourth member, the cat. We can't leave that out, guys. The collab is in here in the building. So let's start off with my guy, Saki. Saki, what's going on, man? Let's hear it.
Oh, you know, guys know what it is. If you want awesome Market Watch content, you gotta come try me out. There's a lot of cards we call before they skyrocket. If you like making money and you like getting cards before they skyrocket and saying, I got that, come to my channel, right? Come over there and it'll be free. I got my 5 cards out of your trade binder, which is 5 cards that you got to get now. And why? We're already getting buyouts from that video. In fact, one of the cards is already bought out.
There we go.
We got a Banlist prediction video with a lovely personality in that thumbnail. That was bad English, but you guys get the point. And I did, and we got some editing done on that video. I think you guys are really gonna like. You guys are really gonna like it. It's probably up by the time this video is, so go check it out. Market Watchers at least twice a week, if not 3 to 4 times, really, because we got the stream. Then we got Monday, Thursday, and then usually I give you guys a Thursday, Friday, or a Wednesday.
Man,
you guys know how I am. So come over, subscribe, watch the videos, hit that notification bell. All right. You see how Fresh got that hit? That's right. And you can hit too. Wait, hold on.
Whoa. Let's leave it at that. We need some room for Vengeful, guys. Guys, make sure you sub to my guy Saki, guys. First link in the description down below for both of them, guys. You guys already know, and obviously Vengeful, you know, with his Market Watches, and also how to beat videos, man. If you want to get better at playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you got to check these videos out, plus the Market Watches. So some words of wisdom, Vengeful. Welcome in.
Hey, what's up? And again, thanks for having us on. It is Vengeful Shadows, and, you know, weird name, I know, but hey, we got the great content. We got the Market Watches, the top 10s, the how to beat videos. Cannot debate with that. And honestly, we're just trying to get cheap cards into the players' hands so they can have a little bit more wiggle room with the meta game. I know this game is pretty expensive. We all agree on that, no matter what we want banned or unbanned. So we try to make sure it is more affordable to the players, or you can make a little extra money on the side, which I don't think anyone wants to, you know, complain about that nowadays. So again, thank you, Fresh and Saki. As always, you're awesome. So I'm honestly super happy to be here with both of you.
Awesome. Love it. Let's get it, man. Always exciting to have people on the channel. We're going to start fresh off the press immediately. Saki's picks. We're going to talk about some cards that we believe are getting reprinted in Stampede that you are going to most likely want to get rid of, and then we're going to also talk about Banlist implications as well. So it's a you know, multifaceted video. Like Saki said, you know, exclusive English. There you go, guys. So let's start with the Charmers here. Saki's personal picks. You know, he said all 3: Hida, Lina, and Ausa. Yeah, you take over, man. I'm bad with names. Take over, man. Why should people be selling these Starlights, Saki?
So Konami ended up splitting the Charmers in half. They gave us Dark, Wind, and Area, and now they're giving us the opposites in Stampede. So they gave us Area, they're going to give us Hida. They gave us Wind, they're going to give us Asa. They gave us Dark, they're going to give us Lina, right? We're probably going to get, there's like a 99.9% chance we're going to get this as QCs. Now, dedicating 6 slots in the first set of the main set, I kind of now understand why they broke it apart. Although I really would have loved to have them all in just one pack. That's personally how I would do it. Konami doesn't want to do that. So these are cards where if you like the Charmers and you are collecting them, either Starlights or QCs, you might want to take a look at these. We do know that Starlights can bounce back from a QC at times. So if there's any of these cards that you love, because every Yu-Gi-Oh player has a Charmer that they absolutely love, if not multiple. It always happens. Charmers are very popular. And yeah, if these cards and you have these Starlights and you kind of are looking at like, I think I'd rather have that money instead of the QC and, you know, get the QC, I would definitely move it right now. Like, let's look at Hida, for example.
All right, there we go.
So Hida right now, as you guys could see, that crash, 140. This card will probably crash even further once we get that QC reveal. So if you want this card and you want Starlight, not QC specifically, I would wait. If you have this Starlight and you'd rather have the money at this point because you think it's going to go down, well, I would definitely go ahead, get rid of it. And you could always get it back later as well. People think that whenever they sell a card, they think they can't buy it back. That's like a misconception people have.
That's a great point.
If I think a card is really high and bought out, I'm like, huh, this is inflated. This is dumb. I'm just going to sell this. And if I want it, I'm going to buy it back later. And yeah, you could be wrong. You could read the market. Sometimes really outrageous buyouts could turn even worse. You know, first we're on the moon. Now we're on Jupiter, right? And if we go even further than that, hey, we might even reach your mom, right? So these cards are, you know, you never know. So this is not financial advice. See, I already got you with
we're ready.
advice.
Hey, we talking about planets out here and the stars in the universe, man. You gotta love it. That's why that's my guy Saki. You gotta go sub, man. Hey, it's all about funds and games, entertainment, but also wisdom when it comes to the markets. Amazing explanation, honestly. As you can see, this card was 300 plus right here, and now it's 180s. It says here, but it's 140s. This can easily be a double-digit card. Like what? Let's just use one of the examples. Dark is actually one that actually has had meta relevance in the past. And by the way, we're gonna get to Vengeful on, you know, the rest of the Charmers in a moment, but just want to make my point about Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. This is a card that actually has seen meta relevance, and this card used to be money. You go to the yearly 270s. You come in here today, 70 bones. This is what Saki is talking about. $200 in your pocket. And this card was even more expensive. This is just the yearly chart. If you would have a 2-year chart, you can see the card exceeded $300. And today is 70 bucks. This is the exact point that Saki is making for all of the other ones. Just because you see it at 140s, oh, it's crashing down. It was 300. It's 140s and it's still this and it's still that. It could go from 140s to 70s and you're down 50%. That's what Saki is trying to save you guys from right now. We can see example after example after example. You're still early. You're kind of late compared to the highs. Yeah, man, I wish I could have been selling at 300s, you know, and this and that and the third. Sure. But, hey, you take it for what it is. Saki is giving the information right now. 140s, keep 50% in your pocket. Recycle that purchasing power. All right, and then let's let Vengeful tackle these Charmers. What do you think about this?
Oh, I mean, honestly, I even told him beforehand, like, that was a really good call on that because I did not even notice that, like, they did the split. I wasn't too, like, paying attention to, like, those specific cards. So that was a great call. So they're definitely going to be doing that. And as you said, I think a lot of people get wrapped up in, like, I don't want to say, like, the greedy mentality, but it's kind of like, you know, the deficit. It's like, oh, it's dropped. I could have gotten a little bit more out of it.
Great
oh,
point.
whatever. But like you said, it's like, well, you're making an extra 50 bucks or something to that effect. So you might as well make more money now. And I mean, you both mentioned buying the card because like we have to remember that. And a lot of times when you do a trade binder, you recycle trade binders or anyone that does trades, you want to pick up cards when they're cheap. They go up in price, you trade them off, and you pick up the cards you just sold off in the last format ago. Again, like get the Maxx when they're valid way back when, pick up the effect fillers when they're not good, and then you sell them in the formats they are. Things like Infinite Impermanence. Like this is just something you have to do just to make sure that you have the value coming back in to reflip later. I mean, if you're not gonna have anything to make value off of if you do not pick up cards to be, you know, flipping for. So that's the big one. And again, for Saki, again, these were just great calls altogether, and definitely something a lot of players need to be looking at to be getting rid of before they go down in price, because as we know, Konami doesn't care. They're relentless. They really don't care at all. So once these printings come out, these prices are going to drop. We see that with like OTS ultis. Once the fake ultimate rare comes out, those prices drop. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right. I
So
mean,
remove emotion. Got to remove the emotion out of it. So
there we go. Like we said, make sure you recycle that purchasing power. Make sure you know you sell early compared to future prices, not to past prices anymore. But listen to Saki. You know why, Saki? What is this card doing here? I think you wanted to say a couple of things before we move on to the next card.
Don't.
Oh, you don't? Damn, I'm gonna leave it at that because I know when I ask Saki to say something, my bad, Saki. Let's move on. Here we have Dimensional Prison, another card that Saki saying that this card is coming and is getting reprinted. Personally, it could get a platinum secret to a quarter century. I wouldn't be mad if we get, you know, the modern side of thing like we see with swaps and other cards that could have easily just had the platinum in the quarter century. But regardless, I agree with Saki, you know, that this card is getting reprinted, and I know Vengeful as well. So let's listen to Saki's take on his personal pick.
This is a card a lot of people wanted in Bonanza, and I was definitely one of them. This was one of the cards I predicted wrong, and I ended up predicting it again for Stampede. And hopefully I'm right, not just to, you know, fuel my ego, but this card is found all over Edison. I mean, wherever you look.
At threes.
Yeah, it's very good. Banishing is very good in Edison. I don't have to tell you guys the impact of this card. It's even played in Hat, and there's a lot of formats this card has needed reprints in, even with the Maximum Gold reprint. And you guys have to remember, like, we've got multiple commons here. We got Noble Knight Plats. We've got OTS 13, Maximum Gold. This card used to be worth a lot of money. It went down because Battle Traps kind of left the game at a certain point. And now that players are playing older format, they need access to this card. And while it's still affordable right now, we've seen these cards and the lower rarities get bought out to $5, $6, $7, $8, right? And that's a lot for one copy of Deep Prison. Same thing with Karma Cut, which is another common that's like $7, $8 right now.
It's crazy.
And that was played during Duelist Alliance format with Burning Abyss. But we're not going to get into that. Some of these older commons that are really good, even if they have multiple reprints or multiple commons / rares, can go up to the moon. And I definitely think it's not only in Konami's best interest to reprint these because of the nostalgia, but just for accessibility as well. Dimensional Prison has easily earned its spot as a legacy card, and I would love to see a QC of this.
Oof, that'd be awesome.
Yep, I definitely think we need it, and we do not need to talk about how we were going over this card early.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Vengeful, man.
Yeah,
just
that was
take it
good.
over.
Never know.
I think they need to hear what you're saying.
Oh boy,
I like all that.
no, don't push him. Don't push those buttons, man. Don't push those buttons,
Do
man.
it live. Do it live. But anyways, no, Dimensional Prison, again, that was another amazing thing. And you're like, I'm switching one of my cards. We're going Dimensional Prison. It was like immediately as soon as he got in here. And that was a great pick because, as you said, they didn't print it. Everyone wanted it. I know I had some Ultras. I was selling them off. I was like, oh, this card's going to get printed as a secret or something, you know. Hey, they didn't, and that's okay. We needed something in this set to be selling a little bit more, like Maxx. So, yeah, I mean, Konami knows how to pace some of their fan favorite cards, and they definitely are for the Edison players. If anything, Edison is the format they're kind of dripping out the releases to, because they're making, I think, a little bit more money off Edison than they thought they were going to. I mean, honestly, I think than anyone thought would happen because of the card spiking so hard. So Deep Prison in the next Rarity Collection, definitely something I could see. And as you mentioned, that quarter century, it's going to look real good on that card. So definitely a card that if players have been holding on to, might want to be getting rid of them sooner than later. You know?
For sure. I mean, same here. I mean, it's all about risk, you know. And again, let's say it skips Stampede, which none of us think is going to happen. You know, worst case, you buy them back. They're going to probably be $5. But what if they get reprinted? Yep. Then you got stuck with a $5 card becoming $1. And, you know, then that's 4, 5x that you're down. You know, $15 becomes $5, you know, or 4 or 3 or free. You know what I mean? So you don't want to go through that. So I agree with both Saki and Vengeful. So another great pick by Saki. You guys already know. And then we have Bystial Druiswurm. Again, a pick by Saki, and Vengeful also thinks the same thing, and me too. But you know, again, we agree, all three of us, that the Bystials, just like the Charmers, probably getting reprinted in Stampede. And if not all of them, let's say they have plans for a Rarity Collection 5. Then at least give us the good ones. You know, leave Baldrake and Saronniers and all that for Rarity 5. Let us get Little Bellies, Druiswurms, and hey, those two will go from there, and probably Dissipator. But yeah, Bystial Druiswurm. So again, I'm gonna let Saki start, and then I'm gonna go to Vengeful. So what do you think about this one, Saki?
So real quick, Lubellion already has a QC.
Yeah, but the six rarities, you know, we don't care about quarter century. Let us get PURs, PSRs, all the P's and all the R's.
Hey, I'm
give it
fine
to
with
us,
that.
Konami.
I'm
give
fine
it to
with
us.
that.
Yeah.
QC Magna Hut, QC Druiswurm. I personally think they can give us, if not Lubellion, okay, if they have to skip Lubellion, that's fine, but they can give us 4 slots, Druiswurm, Magna Hut, Sarnier, and Baldrake.
All right.
I think that would be great. If they need to only give us 2 or even 3, that's fine. But I really don't see the Bystials escaping Stampede. I really don't see it. I think it's on everybody's minds. And, I mean, it's needed. This card's been a staple for a long time. And we haven't really had an accessible copy unless you got your copies early from when they were printed. Fun fact, when this card came out, no joke, pre-sales were like $1.
That's crazy. You're right.
Yeah, they were. And they went up to 4s, and then they went up way higher after that.
It's insane.
But with how good Bystials are, you know, players want, you know, multiple sets and all that. It'd be great to see a cheaper version of this card, you know, accessible to everybody. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. You know, before giving into Vengeful, people forget that a card like this was like $2, $3, $4, $5 because it's been like 15, 20s, 25s for so long. That's a great point that Saki makes. But again, just to give a little bit of a price update, this 20s is almost hitting 20s. The card was 29 to 30s. not too long ago, and now it's crashing down in price, 30 listings only. So we were telling people 28, 29, 30, just move this card. You know, if you have a place that you have anywhere from 90 close to $100, don't leave that on the table. Now it's going down to 20. So Vengeful, what do you think about this one?
I mean, these were too hot to hold, like, definitely, because these cards are, like, they might even get hit on the list coming up because of what they are. I mean, like, Bystials have been a problem for quite some time. I think they were in the format a little longer than Konami might have even thought, because we were tier limit at the time, and it was almost like a necessary evil, where even at that moment, Bystials weren't even good enough to handle the tier limits like the Shizu cards were. So now Shizu cards a little bit not played, tiers are not played. So with the format being things like Engraver or even the future of Eldritch, we see that the Bystials are insane against those decks. Like, just one removal from the graveyard and you shut the deck down, like, pretty much all together, like, right then and there. And then on top of that, you have insane effects like the Druiswurm just being able to send one to the grave. We got the Baldrake with the Banish. You got the Magna Hut with the Search. It's insane. So I think overall, we're definitely going to be seeing a hit to the Bystials, like, in some form or fashion. And I think that just kind of leads credence to the fact that Konami would really want to put these in the form of the rarity collection, sell them like they do, especially the Druiswurm. I mean, like, of all the ones, it's definitely going to be the Druis. They're going to QCR it, sell it out the door, make sure we pick up our copies, maybe go for another format. But once we see a lot more light and dark single target decks like the Eldritch in the future, I think that's the time we're going to see the Bystials going on their way out a little bit more on the ban list, because I think, you know, in the future, they're just too harsh on the game for future formats. Like I said, like single target graveyard effects like the Engraver or the Eldritch, these are just shutout cards, and that's just too much in one package. Plus, they're 2,500. They're great for Dragon's Bind, as we mentioned many times on the channel, as well as their virus targets. So what more can you want from them?
I mean, they're just too much. Design-wise, they're too broken. Like I mean, Vengeful hit it on the spot. You know, he mentioned the ban list also potential. So it's not just getting reprinted, but also, you know, if these cards get hit, then that double whammy could definitely slam these prices. So this is your last chance. I mean, it's not to say that we can't get a little rebound, maybe go back up to 25s. Anything is possible, especially with the demand of the competitive season. But I wouldn't be risking it for the biscuit. I'd be getting rid of this card. Then we have Stardust, Cipher, Divine Dragon. We're starting to get now into Vengeful's personal pick, so we're gonna let him go first, and then Saki's gonna give his opinion on this one, possibly getting reprinted in Stampede. You know, probably with regards to Blue Eyes, but let's let Vengeful take it over.
Yeah, we've just seen a lot of reprints from Konami in regards to, like, a lot of the Blue Eye stuff. And we see there's, like, the Cosmic Blazar side that some of the decks roll with. But with the Cipher Dragon, it actually prevents the destruction from not only the opponent's card effects, but their own card effects, whether that's, like, the Blue Eyes Spirit Summon or with the True Light itself. So that's why we've seen a lot of players going into the Cipher either off of one of the effects or things like the Crimson. So there's actually multiple ways. But, like, either way, they bring out the Cipher. And I think we have had a lot of players just kind of thinking that with the prices the way they are, that we're looking for a reprint, and the Stampede is kind of the perfect place to be putting that in. And I mean, a lot of players might be like, okay, maybe this is just, like, not as generic as a lot of players would like in the Stampede, but I think Konami does sneak a little bit of support into them, as well as, like, support in the future for certain decks. So Cipher Dragon, I think it could go in the Stampede easily.
All right, Saki, what do you have to say about this one?
So I really like how Vengeful did touch up on the fact that, hey, this is not as generic, but at least it serves a purpose, which is, you know, with Blue Eyes right now. There is also the counterpoint that it's a Stardust card too, so it looks super cool, right? It does have that appeal. But just like how Vengeful said about, you know, it's not as generic. I look at the main set, not Nostalgia set, the main set of Bonanza, and when I see stuff like Salaman, Great Circle, Clockwork Knight,
Crystal Shark, Crystal
Shark, right? And, like, there's a lot of random bad picks in the main set. Now, I will say Clockwork Knight needed a reprint, and it is a good card for the future that definitely need a reprint. I just don't know if it was worthy of 7 different rarities or just let's maybe reprint it here. That's what I'm saying, right? Some of those cards, they're good, but they're just not as generic or good enough. Now, you have stuff again like Salaman, Great Circle, like Crystal Shark. Who chose Crystal Shark? Let me know in the comment section below. We need to have a conversation.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Sure. For sure. I mean, like
And,
and Saki said, I mean, he hit it on the spot. Like, there's some cards. I believe this is a great pick. I mean, there could be better cards, but why not? If you're playing Blue Eyes, you want your shiny, to complete your extra deck, things of that nature. There's been worse picks in the past. So honestly, I agree with Vengeful with this one, and what Saki stated. Not bad if they sneak this one in right now. And then we have Chaos Angel, actually a meta relevant card. We're gonna first touch base on the ultimate rare. Vengeful highlighted this one, and I also touched base on so I'll cover the prismatic. But yeah, just take over, Vengeful.
All right, that's that generic card we were just talking about, okay? Like right here. So Chaos Angel generic, as we saw the Baron, we saw the Savage, we see all sorts of generic extra deck stuff going into these quarter centuries, and I think we were actually a little surprised this wasn't in the last one. I think a few players but it's a little too soon in a lot of eyes. So Stampede, I don't think it's gonna miss out, and this card's just really, really expensive. And I think you mentioned Dissipator. That's actually a really interesting one as well. I think we were talking about that. So yeah, Chaos Angel just kind of being the ally. So we got, I just think we're going to see it. Like whatever versions we're going to see of that, like all the PUs, all the PCRs. Like, is this, it's just ulti. This doesn't have a QCR, does it?
No. It's just
ulti. I was like, I thought it was just ulti. So yeah, that is a perfect card for that. And again, if you have these right now, maybe you pulled an ulti out of the OTS pack. It's definitely the time to be selling this. I was even telling some of my friends that have some of the ultis that they just had laying around. I was like, yeah, it's too much value to be holding on the table, because once the QCR comes out and the PUR is there just to kind of be the modern ulti, these prices will be shooting down to like, what do you think? I mean, would they be double digits still, or will they fall under the $10 mark is the real question on that one.
Not that
so
low.
Chaos Angel,
not that
Chaos
low,
Angel. Oh, well, not for ultis, but I mean, I guess the other versions. But,
Some
ultis,
right here. Yes.
Some ultis tank all the way though. I mean,
yeah,
but,
bro.
I mean,
they make Rock Vanquisher the ulti. It's like
Vanquisher.
Snake Eyes Ash. It's like, yeah, no wonder, bro.
Yeah.
I literally, my McChicken, if I add cheese, costs more than ulti Rock Vanquisher.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, take it over, Saki. I mean, you're already on it. What do you think about Chaos Angel? I honestly think it's a great reprint, but I'll get into it. What do you think? What do you think about this one in Stampede?
I fully agree with Vengeful. This would be great. I actually talked about this as well. Some people said, oh, it's too soon to be in there. Well, Konami reprinted Bonfire, SP, and Wanted, and then a month and a half later gave us it in 7 different rarities. So I don't think Konami cares, right? Like, I'm not going to be oblivious.
They never did.
Yeah, it's like I sometimes I feel like the middle child complaining about what the youngest did to my parents, even though my parents could like see something like, oh, such and such is literally
it don't matter.
Candy and spilling it on the ground, and they'll look at the kid and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, can you go pick it up? And just look at you. That's how I feel when I talk sometimes about, yeah, well, Konami doesn't care. Konami just does not care.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't have said it any better. I mean, both of you guys make excellent points. I mean, when I see a card like this, I'm always saying this one and then Sky Crisis, which I'm going to touch base after this card. Just generic, those cards you see and you're like, we all need them. I don't play Imseties, but I want him. I don't play Chaos Angel, but I need him. Well, I need him now for Scrub Morpheus, but in Sky Crisis, we do. Everyone needs it for their extra deck. So again, these high in demand cards, most of us need them or want them. Give it to us. Chaos Angel, right now, $30 still for the no, like Vengeful said, this needs to be single digits. This needs to be cut in half to a $25 card, probably go into the teens. And let us have cheap cardboard, please. Listen to Saki, listen to Vengeful. I'd be selling this.
Saying.
Yeah, like they said. Go ahead, Saki. Yeah.
How can Konami? Okay, so you got a handsome man like Jay right over here, right? Like, look at him, right? You got a handsome man like him telling you, "Hey, I want this card. Can you reprint it?" And you're ignoring Jay.
Yeah, I mean that's really what matters here. Okay,
it's just my another Konami L.
Yes, please listen to Saki. It's my desires. If I want to reprint it, don't give us Crystal Shark. Give us Masterpiece, priorities, which we're finally getting, and we're gonna
give us the Abyss one too. Like, what?
You just can't make this stuff up, man. Love Saki's points. Guys, sell your Chaos Angel. That's what I'd be doing heading into the reprint season. I wouldn't be taking the risk. Oh, Jay, but it didn't get reprinted. I thought you three said that it might. Hey, it's risk. Then you pick it back up at 30 or 35s, and you'll be fine. But if it does get reprinted, you don't want to be holding on to a $10 or $9 card. Don't be that guy. Don't be Billy Bob. Then we have Superstar Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis. Again, another one. Extreme demand. Everyone that sees this card, they want it. If you have one copy, you want a second. If you have an RO3, you want an RO6 or an RO9. It's one of those cards that is just highly liquid, easy to trade. Everyone wants it. You have it in your binder. Ooh, can I get that Sky Crisis? We understand, but a reprint can destroy this value. That's why it's my personal pick today about Stampede reprints here. And as we can see, 30s, just like Chaos Angel. Don't be down 3x on this. Oh, Jay, but I need it and I'm playing it right now and it's an extra deck staple. How do you want me to sell this? Okay, if you stay with your one of and you go down with the ship, I understand. But when I go to regionals, so YCSs, I open binders and I see RO3s, RO6s, RO9s, and even though this risk is here, people just don't seem to care. Not the time to have extras, in my humble opinion. Yes, the card is going up. That's good. You sell into this latest hype here, into the possible potential Stampede reprint. Let's go with Saki. What do you have to say about this one, Saki?
So for this card, I'm actually going to disagree with Jay. I feel like if you have one, I feel like if you have your one copy and you're actually playing the game, keep your one copy. We don't really know when this is going to get reprinted.
No, yeah, that's what I said. If you have one, that's fine. But if you have extras, nah. What do you think about that, Saki? What if you have 3 right now? What should you be doing?
Well, yeah, no, I actually fully agree. This is not a card, and I always do this with expensive staples.
Sure.
Personally, I just take the time to take it from one deck to another one if I'm playing it. I did the same thing with Ashes. When I had OG Secret Ashes, I got them, I think, for 120 for the set at that point. Maybe it was 140, something along those lines. And when we got the Kaiba Ultra Rare, Legendary Collection Kaiba, we are talking back in the day now. And then we got the Shadows of Valhalla Supers, which were like 25s.
That's insane.
I just kept one set of secrets and I cycled it through my decks. And yeah, I guess it was a little annoying sometimes having to unsleeve it, put it back in, sure. But it saved me a lot of money. But the other thing you all guys have to also ask yourself, and this is from a player's perspective, is let's take Sky Crisis for an example. Let's say we know this is getting a reprint in the next 2 months. Let's actually pretend like, hey, it's gonna happen. Okay, well, what am I doing with the card? Okay, am I playing at events and I need to play events? Sure, I'll play it, and if I win that event, I get prizing, or at locals that, puts the value. Sure, but if I know I'm not, say, playing, and this card is in the vicinity for a reprint, then yeah, I might consider getting rid of it, especially if it's high. If it's high for what it is, which we can say Super Star Slayer is high for what it is. If this card was maybe $10, like it was, anywhere from... In fact, you click the year graph. I know this card, yeah, it was a little cheaper. Like, if it was $13, it could go up, it could go down. We don't really know. For 13, sure, but now that we know it's pretty high, $30 here, if you're not using this, or you don't plan on playing this format, or very little... Yeah, definitely get rid of it, especially because Sky Crisis is kind of a situational card. It's good. It is very good. But there are times where you have in your extra deck and you're like, wow, I wish I could make this and I just can't. But it is a good card. It really will help you break boards. I have my own personal copy because I got my Ultra from back in the day for like 15. So I've also had 10 months or a year or something, whatever, to play with the card, right? So I got a year's worth of play from it and I actually made this. It's helped me win games, etc. So I can get rid of it maybe when they announce that reprint, because it's also on when I got the card. I got the card for 10. You have to ask yourself how much you got this card for. Yes, it's 30, but did you pay 30 for it, or did you pay 13? Because now you can use the card if it gets announced for a reprint. Let's say it starts tanking. Well, maybe it goes down to 20 or 18. You move it. Okay, you made a few dollars, but you got a full year's worth of play for free.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of questions, and I'm sorry to bombard you guys with that type of information. Or I'm not sorry. I know it's a lot, I should say.
No, that's an excellent.
Whenever I look at cards or like stocks or whatever, this is kind of how I think about it, right? Especially cards, because even if I lose some, like personally, this is my opinion, if I lose some money on a card, but I love playing it, then I'm cool with it. That's fine with me. I like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I love doing that. Absolutely. But at the same time, as an adult, I have to realize that, hey, these are worth money. I can be smart about it, or I can at least acknowledge the economics around it. So I definitely talked for too long.
Hey,
So.
I love the analysis, and I'm gonna let Vengeful take over here in just a couple of seconds here. Again, great point made by Saki about the playability. You know, I did say earlier, if you have one and you're playing it and you go down with the ship, I'm perfectly fine with that. That makes sense. You know, but really the focus is for people that have 3, 6, 9 of these in a binder. They're $30 each, and they can get reprinted in 3 weeks. You know, I don't leave that possible potential money on the table. Worst case, it doesn't get reprinted. Sure, it could bump from 30 to 35s. You pay a $5 premium. That's a possibility, but at least you know it didn't get reprinted in Stampede. Rather than the counterpoint to that would be you hold on to the extra copies. They get reprinted and they all become $15 or below. You're down 50% on all those copies. That's just the thought process with regards to that. But yes, 100% agree with Saki. If it's playability wise, maybe you own one. I understand. But I'm talking more about the people that have binders. You go to big event. Oh, Sky Crisis, highly liquid, staple. You know, everyone needs it. I'm gonna get more and more and more. And then the reprint comes, and then I'm gonna let Vengeful take over.
Oh, I mean, I would definitely be selling these cards for sure. I mean, I think we're going to be seeing them in the Stampede, and as you mentioned, they're just going to be in all sorts of rarities. So this will definitely be pushed down in price like hardcore. And I mean, even in it was kind of joked in like the YCSs when in the streams, like a lot of times like players, and I know this isn't like 100% accurate, but a lot of times when players go into Typhon, they're in such a scenario that like they've already lost, you know? So it's kind of hard to already like justify it. So I mean, I know it gets cut out of a lot of extra decks already. So you were mentioning it's a one of, if it's something it's going to help you with, or it's like fundamental for your deck, or maybe you're in the small percent that it's like, no, when I play this card, I win the game. Maybe they play it wrong, but I don't, you know? So it's like, I definitely do understand. So if it's helping you out, you paid 13 on it, and you're like, bro, I've made all the money I'm going to make off of it. I'm just going to keep rolling it. I definitely understand that.
Sure.
But if you are holding the extra copies, definitely be getting rid of them, because like, just like the Chaos Angel, pretty much like it is like the brother in crime right now. I know it's like the Zeus enemy over here, but it's like brother in crime right now with Chaos Angel on that $30 mark for like those secrets, or well, you know, the Chaos Angel secrets and stuff. So it's like, it's all going to tank. All these things are going to tank. So if you're holding on to these one-ofs for the extra deck, and that's the other thing, these are one-ofs. It's not like you're going to play 3 in the main deck or anything. These are one-ofs. The moment you have 16 other options to be playing the same card, they're going to tank time and time again. So there we are.
For sure, there we go. Again, a card like this, if it's me, even playability-wise, my mindset would be, I already got all the playability out of it. It's $30. Let me take them 30 bones, you know, go to Indy or Chicago or wherever Saki is, invite Vengeful over, and let's go get a calzone like me and Saki did in that regional. And that's it. Chillin' McMillan. We don't leave money like this on the table for the most part, guys. We have Imsety Glory of Horus, guys. Another one. Prismatic. This is my third pick here, you know, from the tins. I believe they're going to be double dipping. I believe they're going to double dip into Chaos Angel, you know, Sky Crisis, and Imsety. Not going to talk too much about this one. You know, of course, it's very niche in the sense it's not like every deck plays it, but you have graveyard decks. Maybe Orcus sneaks this in, Phantom Knights, you know. There's always graveyard decks that, you know, include this engine very well in their deck core. So yeah, you know, we told people at around 24 25s to get rid of this card. Now it's around 21s. I think this is going to hit the teens pretty soon, and if it gets reprinted, it'll be a single digi card, easy. So again, recycle your purchasing power. So what do you think about this one, Saki?
Imsety is definitely a card that, while I would like to see it cheaper for the player base, $20 is way better than when these were 55 a pop to, you know, 70s. Can we pull up the original?
Sure, let's do it. Yes, sir.
Because some players love the Prismatic Secret much more, and you know, than normal Secret. And like, yeah, let's see, the OGs, if we scroll down, are the same exact price. Just go get the OGs if you need this card. Right now, do I see it going up? It just depends if in the future, with, you know, like the new Justice main set that comes out, it's one of our core sets. We're gonna have Yummy there. If this is used in any decks in the future, I expect it to go up. If Horus continue to be good cards, but they're not really seeing play, I kind of see them sticking around this price, and we get closer and closer to a place where they can reprint this card. Now, granted, they do reprint this card. I think it's going to be as an Ultra or lower on the next one. So grabbing OGs at 20, even if they reprint it, say, as an Ultra, your OGs might not go down. So it's not a bad card to pick up, I would say. It's not a bad card to pick up.
That's a good point, in the sense that it might not get the Stampede reprint. What if they include this in Battles of Legend or some other set where it could come in an Ultra? Then these will definitely get value. So again, the good thing when the Stampede comes, we're gonna know. Then you know, oh, it skipped Imsety. Okay, so then we look forward to the next reprint set, and we get ready for that, as Saki said, with a potential Ultra. So again, just be on the lookout, just in case Stampede reprints this one. But Vengeful, what do you think about Imsety's?
I think this was actually a very nice archetype to be mentioning, because I think it does overall need a massive like reprint overhaul, whether that's in some Battle Legends like reprint set or if it's in the Rarity collection. Because the sarcophagus, I mean, I honestly, all of them are kind of nice, but I think it was a good option for this in the sarcophagus for sure. You know, for like something that would be in a Rarity collection overall, because these are the primary targets that you'd want, and that's kind of what we see in there. Whether it's like with the primitive planets, the pressured planets, or like certain choice cards of archetypes, like they have like some of the prime cards as those reprinted ones for the quarter century. So I think that's pretty good. We could definitely see it. It's either going to get reprinted in that set or something like their Battle Legends. Either way, these prices would go down unless it was like what Saki was saying for the OG, which might retain, which is kind of what we see time and time again. So
For sure. Yeah. Excellent points as always. So guys, make sure you join our giveaway here in the Discord. Link in the description down below. We're giving away staples, Little Knight, Thrust, you name it. You know, as you can see here, we're addicted to the brown. Saki's addicted. He's the #1 addict, guys, out here. You know what I mean? You mean what I know. So you want to be like Saki, hop in the Discord. Make sure you come in here. Make sure you come in here and you take advantage of this giveaway, guys, in the Discord. You don't want to miss out. And also, guys, link in the description down below. We'll have all these cards for you so you could come in here and buy these cards. Vengeful, Saki, me, we're recommending, you know, to sell some cards in the sense of the possible Stampede reprint, but you might be getting ready to also buy some of these cards. If you need them right now in the short term, we'll definitely allow you to track these cards right here. And guys, link in the description down below. Come over here, take advantage of your $15 discount code here. Tools and resource, community resources for you guys. You guys already know. And like we said earlier, guys, you need a sub to my guy Saki. You need a sub to my guy Vengeful right here. Links will be in the description down below. You've heard him. You know, we're what, 36 minutes in? You've heard their explanations on point. Great market watchers. You definitely need to get exposed to their channels. And it's not about just following one person. You want to diversify your thought process, your decision making. Oh, Saki said this. Oh, okay, compared to Vengeful, compared to Jay. Then you make your own financial decisions, because this is not official financial advice. It is for entertainment purposes only. So if you can relate to that, make sure you subscribe to your boy right here as well. You know, cracked 8K on our way to 10. You know, so we continue to grind here. Make sure you ring that bell, subscribe. You guys already know. So now we're moving on to some Banlist picks. Again, we're going to start with Saki. Saki has 3 cards, I believe so, that he said that he expects to be impacted by the Banlist. You know, in the sense of Summon Sorceress. I'll just let him take over.
So before I begin this, remember on my channel, I will be having a Banlist prediction video where I will be talking about a ton of cards, actually. You know, I think I have like 20 picks or something. Summon Sorc got a errata in the OCG, and a lot of people are forgetting that. Konami likes to rush and give us these cards that they errata. They love to give us some sort of version to play with. Now, sometimes accidentally, like with Firewall, when they errata Firewall, they only gave us high rarity. And they gave us a Ghost Rare and Ghost of the Past 2, I want to say. And then they gave us an ulti in OTS 17, right? Yeah, very accessible, Konami. Appreciate you. Right? But they've learned from then, and I think Summon Sorc is going to be there to be like, oh, there's a rod version. It's way too easy to get. They can get a version of this easily. If this is not in Bonanza, I would be very surprised.
There we go.
Because we should get this errata eventually.
There we go. I agree with Saki. Yeah, let's listen to Vengeful's take.
Oh no, perfect on the errata, because like we saw with the plush fire and other things, like once it against errata, they push it over here or like reprint it to us. So that's pretty much what we're looking at. Like there's not much to add on to that. I mean, it's pretty much like hits the nail on the head right there. This card is definitely going to be coming back.
For sure. And like they said, you know, if it comes back, it probably comes back with a reprint. Honestly, the Shonen Jump one is not that bad at all. It's a Shonen Jump card. As an Ultra, looks pretty nice. They're usually, you know, more scarce than regularly other printed cards. So I like this version. You know, if you want to have one to get exposure, you're one of. Maybe if you see yourself playing it potentially after the rod in the future, why not? But if you have too many extra copies, maybe you want to get ready for a reprint. So I believe this card was a great pick by Saki. Then Saki said Wind Up Carrier Sun Mighty. Me and Vengeful actually talked about this in our collab. Was it last week or the week after that? Time is flying by. So now Saki wants to give his take on his personal pick. Take it over, Saki.
All right, so I know that you guys are probably about to skip the video a bit. Hold up, just give me 1 second here. All right, let me tell you my copium this time, all right?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
We've been having wind-up buyouts recently on low listings, and I don't know why everyone all of a sudden is buying other wind-up cards. Now, people are obviously, you know, want to play the deck. It's an old archetype that used to be, it was broken back then. It was absolutely broken. And we were seeing cards like Wind-Up Rat getting bought out now, Wind-Up Factory Supers on low listings. And because of that, I'm like, you know what? Maybe someone knows something that, you know, we don't. An example I like to say is Performapal Monkey Board, right? That card was never speculated to come back ever until one list where nobody talked about it, but it only got bought out that list with no indication of, like, you know, more pendulum stuff coming or something related to it. And one thing I always think about when I look at the market, and this really does take kind of maturity to realize, is there are people out there that know more than you, even if you're like the smartest. Like, let's say a lot of you are like, okay, I think Jay's the smartest here. Okay, cool. There's still someone who knows things that Jay doesn't.
That's true.
Let's say you're on my channel. You're like, you know what? I like Saki's channel the most. He's an OG. He's the smartest Yu-Gi tuber. Guess what? There's still things I don't know. And not only do I like to educate myself on that, but when I say don't know, I mean there are moves that are happening kind of in the shadows, and people aren't really looking at that, right? You never know when some collectors with deep pockets decide, hey, this week, let's take this card off the market. We've seen it happen. Like, people try to organize buyouts. Look, I know people feel one way or another on it, but it does happen. That we can all agree on. And there are people that know the ban list before it comes out. I'm sorry, but there are, okay? It's not under lock and key, right? And instead of leaking it, they make their market moves beforehand, and they reap the profits when it comes back. That's my personal opinion. And I think that the way the market's moving, the ship has sailed. I think that we can see Carrier come back to the shore here, this ban list. That's my personal opinion. I really, really do.
All right, there we go. I mean, about time these wind-ups, you know, let them play. Let them breathe, man. Let them breathe. What do you think about this one, Vengeful?
These were kind of like an intro to modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Way back in the day, I have to say, kind of like with the way the decks would kind of link together and kind of search through the engine, even things with injectors into the wind-ups, how it like felt. So I think a lot of players do keep this on the back of their mind, especially if they played back in the day. And I think we could also see not only is Zen Mighty coming off the list, and that was like a really good, like what you mentioned with noticing those cards getting bought out, because we see that happen sometimes close to the ban list. There are definitely cards that get bought out previously, or if not like the week prior to the ban list, that it's like Tribe Infecting Virus, I think was one of them, like prior to whenever it came off, like it got bought out like the week before or something, and it was like, how the hell did that one, like that card, like,
insider information,
like, yeah, exactly. You see it, and then like, I mean, we all even know with the translations, like there's buyouts before the cards get translated, like things like that, you know. So whether it's the Zen Mighty coming off the list or wind up support, which is something we could definitely be seeing. Where's a wind up dragon, guys?
Interesting.
Where's a wind up dragon? All right.
Probably
So
hates this
things like
archetype
that.
way too much.
Yeah, exactly.
And I to be fair, with good reason.
Yeah,
with
it
good
was pretty
reason.
broken. It's pretty broke. So wind up support or Zen Mighty coming back, definitely or both. It's definitely something to be keeping in mind with the wind ups.
There we go. Look, like they said, we have the fishy right here, the shark, we have the spellcaster, the beast warrior beast. So where's the dragon? I mean, we'll see what happens with this one. Yeah, me and Vengeful talked about this one like a week or two ago. I agree with Saki. I agree with Vengeful. Great picks. We'll move on. And then we have yes, Dragonic Diagram. Thank you, Saki. Thank you, Saki. This is one of his personal picks. Man, every time I see this, man, please just what I need to let Saki the 2, maybe 3. You know what? I'll take 1.5 at this point. 1.5, man. That's it. We're gonna see this card at 1.5. I don't even need to see it at 2 or 3. Just give it to us back.
1.5.
Yes, 1.5. I'll break 1.5 and just play 1.5. Take it over, Saki.
You only get half the effect that way. No, but in reality, when a lot of people may know that cards are coming off the ban list, either through predictions, OCG list might follow, TCG might follow the OCG list, future support, we all know that. Masterpiece, I think we all know is coming off the list because they're making it a QC. I think they're making it a QC in the main set. I could be wrong, guys. I could be wrong, like I said.
Yep.
But we're getting this as a QC. This card could have came back years ago. I feel like in the last year there was one format where they said it could actually be really good. Maybe that's why Konami didn't give it to us. I'm blanking on that right now, but they're gonna give us Masterpiece to 1 now. This deck can have Diagram at 3. We can have it. They can give it to us. If they want to give us one Masterpiece first, and they're really scared about this deck, oh well, right? I mean, we also hit a lot of the floodgates it played.
That's true. That's a great point.
Because you used to play like all the floodgates at 3 with this deck.
Great point.
And because of that, these OGs, they might be a good pickup right now because first people see, it's kind of like when Deng Long came back, right? Deng Long got unbanned. People didn't just buy out Deng Long, they bought out Chuwen, which is another Yangzing card that you would use in Tantrum with Deng Long. Same thing with Diagram, right? Oh, it's a true, make it simple. Wind-up card gets unbanned, wind-up cards go up. Dragonic card gets unbanned, Dragonic cards go up. Madolche's get card unbanned, there's no Madolche ban cards. Madolche support goes up. You guys know this. I'm not going to, explain common sense any further. You guys, if you made it this far in the video, which leave a like, by the way, please leave a like for my boy Jay. He tells me, yo, Saki, my videos, they don't get 100 likes. You guys have the power to stop that right now.
Saki's right, man.
You know what to do.
That's it. Just destroy that like button, man, because
I'll put you on a diagram.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I won't do that. That's a little too hard.
There we go. I'll let Vengeful take this one over, man.
Only you can prevent forest fires, okay? Remember that. But no, Diagram to at least a 1.5 as we agree.
Yes.
Definitely something we could see in the future. Konami seems to try to be kind of slowing the game down. Kind of like a little bit. We got the Monarch support, so it wouldn't be surprised if we get some True King supporters, True King love off the ban list a little bit beforehand. Yeah. And they kind of seem to be, they organize out their year anymore. Like I remember when it used to be like, oh, fire support here, water support there. Now we got reptile support. Ah, haha, it kind of actually sucks. We lied. Now it's like a year of fire, year of water. So I think with us moving into the Monarch support, they're going to be slowing down the game. We see the hand traps with like the purges, dominances out here. I mean, it's all connected, guys. We got the trap meta coming back in. So I think we could definitely be seeing some love to that archetype, definitely. Yeah, so
there we go.
Off the list.
Yeah, so I'm going to piggyback off Saki's choice because I had Masterpiece back here, but might as well bring it forward before we get to Vengeful's picks. And again, this is known already. This has been confirmed as a known reprint in Stampede, so now we all expect this card to finally come back to 1 here. Again, honestly, I've always talked about this card. It's one of my favorite cards of all time. A lot of people hated it. It is what it is. But I personally think if it comes back to 1 and even Diagram bumps up to 2 or to 3, I mean, Draw and Lockbird destroys this deck. I mean, like Saki made an amazing point about the floodgates. It's just not the same environment when these cards were broken. Now there's outs to many of these cards in one way, shape, or form. The meta is already too broken in itself, so it's not going to worry about a little Masterpiece, right? Just unlock the king, please. It's getting reprinted in Stampede. So again, the OGs, they're 9-10s. There's going to be people that prefer the OG secrets, even if it gets destroyed in Stampede. Honestly, maybe a Platinum Secret in a quarter century at least. We'll see what happens with this one. But just to piggyback off Saki's Diagram pick, I'll let him take over Masterpiece. You did mention it just a bit. Don't know if you have any more thoughts with regards to this card, Saki.
I think you summed it up perfectly.
There we go. So, Vengeful, any last thoughts on Masterpiece?
It got you muted in the semi-limited podcast, so I gotta say I love the card. Definitely love. Yeah, I was there.
Yes, you were.
We love that card. We love slowing the game down, just making people have to work for it, and main things like the sea turtle. So I'm here for the Masterpiece. It's peace. It's peace.
Yes.
How can it be bad?
Yes, you need to go over there.
And we all want peace.
Then let it go over there. Let Semi-Limited know. That's my guy. Tell him, man, he needs to see this part of the video because this will definitely be his favorite. Yeah, so now moving on to some picks from Vengeful here. Infernity Fiend, quarter century secret rare, and platinum secret rare. Just
Shout
go
out
ahead.
to Saki,
Yeah,
by
take
the
it
way.
over.
Shout out to Saki
Take it
because
over.
he's actually the one that introduced me to the quarter century reprint of this card, okay?
There we
so
go.
got to give a shout out to Saki. Just to
I
intro that real
told
quick.
people to get these at 3s, and now I see
Yes.
7 fucking listings.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
click it.
Yes, yeah, literally.
Scroll down.
Yeah, yes. They're creeping up there. They're shooting. They're shooting, man.
look at-
Yeah, you told me that did you know there's like $3, $5? I'm like, yo, let's go. That's insane. Yeah, we need Infernity support. So Infernity's definitely something that could come off the list rather.
There's my the funny part about this, scroll down. That's my listing right there.
Yeah,
Yes.
you need to bump this up. You need to
Bump
be
it or
the
take it
insider
off.
man, the insider man, the
I don't-
greedy man.
No, I don't. I do not care, guys. If you're wondering why I don't bump that up or why it's there, I will list a card as a checkpoint because I have so many cards. I forget. I'm like, if this card ever goes up, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw one up, so if it
that's
sells,
smart.
I get reminded of his
That's
existence.
smart. That's smart.
And I
That's
check the rest. No joke. I do that with my orders. Even if I'm like, if I see a card that sells for a normal price, I'm like, just see what it's at right now.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I'm
That's
just
smart.
worried about the listings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
It just
smart
happens.
takeaway. Yeah, so what do you think, Vengeful, about this card? Thanks to Saki.
So, I mean,
Yep.
not only is it going to go up, but because of potential launcher coming off the list, I think that's what a lot of players are kind of thinking. Launcher could definitely come off the list, which would make the Infernity Archfiend actually increase in price, as well as potential support in the future. We see they're just going back and giving a lot of love to some 5Ds right now, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see some love given to one of the arch rivals or kind of friends. It depends which season you're in, and that is the Infernities, which were a fan favorite and another kind of modern era deck like we saw with the wind up. So Infernity Archfiend could definitely see an increase, as it already has. It's tripled if not quadrupled in price since you mentioned it to me. So, definitely a card to be looking out for. A good one, Saki.
And if we're lucky, if you're lucky, you could even see the Infernity tricks and tips they used back in the day, like setting monsters to their spell and trap zone. No, and for those who don't
Tell
know,
them that one.
no. I know, Vengeful, you know this. Very quick thing, because I know a lot of you aren't going to get that reference. Infernity players who would play events would not be able to activate the effects because they'd have cards in their hands, so they just set them in their spells and traps, because you don't have to show your opponent it. You don't have to. You can just put them back. And a lot of people try to cheat like that. I was not playing during that, but I've had so many people tell me about that. I think there was a video of someone talking about it too. And it's always something that sticks out to me when people talk about Infernities, because older players, that's the first thing they'll think about with Infernities. And that's what they tell me. Again, I did not play during that format, or maybe I did casually and I just wasn't really going to locals too much because, I was a kid. So
Yeah, there we go. I mean, Infernities, the card is so broken that Vengeful even disappeared on this. Look at that, man. The card is getting cleaned out right here. And Vengeful's like...
Just like
let me-
my dad.
Sorry, the wife walked in, so give me 2 seconds. Just keep going.
Vengeful's out here, joining Mr. Clean, man, buying out this card. But in the meantime, guys, we have Infernity Archfiend Platinum Secret. Again, always, after Saki's correct pick, highlighted by Vengeful, then we go to what? Like I always say, the next best thing. If this one's getting bought out, they're going to come over, even though it might not be their favorite rarity. Maybe, they prefer the quarter centuries, but price, man, you can see it was 30 cents, going parabolic to 50 cents. You have a couple of
Great
one-ups.
penny stock
But
right
there
here.
you go. Yeah, like Saki said, if you already got the quarter century, or you didn't and you missed out, listings are under 100 for a Platinum Secrets. They're shekels today, could be Billy tomorrow. Listen to Vengeful and to Saki with regards to these cards. Then we have Red Reboot, another pick by Vengeful. He's been talking about this card, man. It's coming. He has, we insider information. That's what we're talking about here. Nah, just kidding. But the whole point is, let's hear it. Why Red Reboot? Make your claim to the throne once again when it comes to this card.
All right, we are moving into a trap meta game, it seems like, with what Konami is kind of doing, whether it's with the Odeon support, the Silo Hat Rabbit, the Illich support we're coming out, or them souping up trap cards by letting you activate them directly from your hand, okay? We saw Infinite Impermanence, one of the only trap cards to actually make it through the Onslaught and just kind of the modernization of the game, because, like, effect monsters are basically all of Yu-Gi-Oh right now, unless you have spells to search the effect monsters to be all of Yu-Gi-Oh. So trap cards are kind of not as worthy as they used to be. as in the current game. As we saw with Saki, you were mentioning Dimensional Prison just being an amazing card. It was years of that card just being in everyone's deck. You had people fearing Mirror Force. You had Torrential Tribute. I mean, Mirror Force and Torrential were at 1 for the longest time. I think Mirror Force was like banned or something. I don't even know. I don't even remember all the way back then. But I just remember them being at 1. And now traps are useless. Battle traps are useless. And the only thing that is played are things that activate from the hand or are counters that get set directly, like in archetypes or something, okay? So Konami is giving them more love, whether it's the dominances that you can activate from the hand or being able to set cards directly from the deck, like we mentioned with the Silhouette Rabbit. And then now we see our Lich getting support. We see the Odeon, which, I mean, it was kind of lackluster. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it was kind of eh. But I think we see Konami just trying to give more love to the traps. So segueing into the Red Reboot, it is one of the only kind of outs right now to traps that can be activated from the hand. We have punishable ways to hit the monsters. We have ways to stop the monsters or punish with things like Triple Tactics Thrust or Talents. We don't really have ways to punish upon trap activation. So when we see more Dominuses come out, we even see like the Psalm of the Kings or whatever support card that was. Essentially, like they were like, okay, you like search the Dominuses right there. Some of the only outs we have right now are Red Reboot, and it's banned. And we see it at 1 in OCG, and a lot of players are actually side decking the 1 of right there. So that's something to be looking at. And I think the TCG will be following, especially once they reprint, like, or at least print more cards or more traps that will be activatable directly from the hand. So Red Reboot, and then since we talked about it on your channel, it's gone up. So
there we go. Here we go, guys. I'm gonna give it to Saki in just a moment, but before then, that's why I love collab, and that's why I love having Saki and Vengeful on the channel. You need to go subscribe right now. Before we get to this chart, just go subscribe, guys. Right now, you heard that beautiful explanation from Vengeful. Saki's gonna take over and destroy that explanation as well. You know, it's gonna be just beautiful. Love collaborations. Why? Because look, while Vengeful was talking about the fundamentals, and Saki's going to touch base on that as well. That's the value of collabs. Me, I was looking at the chart. I was looking at this volume candle that is the largest yearly volume candle in the last 12 months. This supports the fundamental take by Vengeful. It clearly supports. It means there's more buyers now than ever in the last 12 months. Why? It's because Vengeful has been talking about this card and he has that pull. And he's causing this buyout. Nah, but you guys get what, you know, great explanation. People getting ready. They're speculating, guys. And these are the signs. These are the clear signs, guys, in the charts near the lows. You know, double bottom right here. Just beautiful, beautiful. Listen to Vengeful. Let's listen to Saki now. Make sure you have access to this card.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I gotta say this.
There he goes.
When you started drawing randomly, I thought you were about to draw a dick while he was talking about Red Reboot. And then pull it up again. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna say it. And then I finally decide not to say it. I finally decide not to say it.
Whoa.
And then he puts a line through at the bottom where the head's supposed to be. And now, no, you put the little line. Yeah, put the little line. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, and then he puts that thing. Right.
Whoa.
Jay knows what he's doing.
What is going on here, man?
Jay knows what he's doing. Jay knows what he's doing. All right. He's thinking of me, guys. Not concentrating on the video. You know how I'm just playing.
That Red Reboot.
Yeah.
Man, reject this. No, but here's what I'm gonna say. I am gonna disagree with Vengeful on this, but I think it's good that people are getting it.
Okay.
And that might seem
Let's
like a
hear it.
contradiction, but let me get into it. So,
yeah, let's hear it.
Konami likes to push certain decks and cards, and when they decide that, hey, we're gonna do this, they're gonna see, okay, what cards hurts this new deck that we want? Oh, this card? Great. Limit or ban, right? That's just how it is. Or, oh, this card's gonna bust, break this archetype. Let's hit it beforehand so it's not too crazy, or let's hit it 3-4 months in so it looks like we're trying to address the deck, but in reality, we want to sell our cards later. Red Reboot is definitely a card where if people are speculating on it and the OCG has it, I take the rule of looking at the ban list as a when, not an if. That is the best piece of advice I could give you to ban related cards. When, not an if, all right? Because there are so many cards everybody's have said as players, oh, this can't come back, comes back. It's full, the ban list is fooled everybody 10, 20 times. This is a card that's not going to see a reprint unless it gets unbanned. Meaning that as more people want their one copy, just in case it gets unbanned, or they want it for maybe toss format, right? Because that's another application. Players are going to be like, oh, this is low on listings. If this comes back, I'm going to have to spend, say, $4 on it. Right now, oh, 5, 6, right? It's the same thing with like other banned cards. Some of these banned cards have reached crazy prices through speculation alone. Like Harpor was a super rare that was $10 at one point while being banned, and it never hit $10 when it was meta relevant.
That's a great
It never
point.
hit 7.
It's insane.
Or 8. That's kind of a good example I could tell you guys. So when I pick up Red Reboot for $1 or $2, you should have this card in your trade binder before it goes up here, because if it does come off the list, you're prepared. And if it doesn't, okay, well, when it does, if it does, it'll go up then. Or if it doesn't, guess what? Every ban list, you're going to see a spike in value, and people are going to speculate. And then this card that isn't unbanned yet, right? Let's say this card never gets unbanned, right? You're going to wake up one day and this could be a $5, $6 card.
That's true. Just cuz. Yeah, just off scarcity. So, I mean, great points. Both. I love it. I love it. You know, when sometimes, most of the time we agree, but sometimes we agree to disagree, and I love it. I love different takes.
Banlist season,
yes,
baby.
yes, I love it. I love different takes. Both made great points. And me as the mediator, you know, just do what they said. What is that, Jay? One said to buy, one said to... Just do what they said, guys. We'll leave it at that. Love it, love it, love it. Red Reboot, man. Prismatic. I personally have 4 of these. So, you know, if it gets unbanned, I'll have to send one. If it goes to one to Saki and one to Vengeful, even though I know Vengeful is the whale. You know, he probably has dozens of these.
And the other
you know,
one,
so.
you can just eat it live on camera. And then you have one copy for yourself.
Oh, that'd be fun, man. That'd be fun. I'd love to do that just for the funsies. Then we have Predaplant Verte Anaconda. You know, this is the last pick from Vengeful with regards to Banlist implicaciones here. I'll let Vengeful take over, you know, because Dragoon, man, he's making a comeback via Predaplant Verte Anaconda. Let's hear it, and then we'll listen to Saki's take on this one.
I forgot to mention this on my last Banlist prediction video. I'm gonna be honest, I was so sad when I realized I shot the video and didn't put this in the limited section. I was so sad. So yeah, Verte Anaconda, they give him for what you said. I want Dragoons, I want easy access to Dragoons, I want to kaiju you, pop it with my Dragoons and OTK you with this deck I had way back when it was just the nastiest going second ever. I want that deck back, that's why. It's all selfish reasons. I want Dragoons. Everyone, you can't trust me with anything I say here. If you let me do it, it's gonna go so fad. It's horrible.
Yep.
So just don't tell me I didn't warn you. Also, prices are pretty sweet for the printings of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like $5-6 right there. And if it comes off, you know this is going to spike, even though it was like a one of in the extra deck.
Double digits.
But these will definitely be going up. Absolutely. And I just think that it's time. You know, not every single deck is going to be throwing in the Garnets that we saw. I think a lot of decks are beyond teching the Dragoons. Not saying it won't happen. We'll definitely see a few, like my decks. But I think overall, it's kind of past the point of teching that. We'll see some Primite versions play it. We'll see some interesting decks pop up. But I do not think we're going to go back to this being put in every single build going into Dragoons to end the field. So whether it's this card or something else, I honestly think that we will see Anaconda one day in time. Like Saki said, it's not an if, it's a when, and I think that is sooner rather than later. So
here we go, Saki. Let's hear it. Great take.
So I actually, it's funny that you brought this card up, because this was a card I used this logic with back in the day. I'm like, is Verte Anaconda? And remember, this is like not a year ago. This is a little over a year ago. Right, probably a year and a half. So this card was around. We saw the graph. It said 2 something. This card was never $1. I think it was about 2. I don't think it reached as low as $1 back then. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I remember it being around 2. And I told people this is a card where you'll wake up one day and it could be $5, $6, $7, or just through speculation alone. And now we're in the year 2025, where this card people are saying, oh, it could come back. I think Master Duel, correct me if I'm wrong, Master Duel did something with this. I'm not familiar with it in the OCG. It's just not coming to mind. So if any of you two know, please interrupt me and let me know. But now it's $7. Even if this card did not come off the list, if you got this at 2 and it's at about basically almost $7 here,
that's crazy.
Well, you just 3x'd your money, and the ban list didn't even have to do anything. The way you play a ban list when it comes to like penny stocks and investing, all that is very different than modern and other reprint cards and all this other stuff. It's a different type of thinking. and it's something that while I have my experience of it itself, some older players kind of gave me some guidance on it. But can this card come back? It is a strong card. Here's what I'm gonna say: it's a very strong card. And instead of giving you guys an opinion, I don't believe, or I'm just making up on the spot, which I do love making stuff up on the spot. Yeah, I do. I'm not going to give you guys another half-assed opinion. I actually want to think about what Vengeful said.
Okay.
If Verte Anaconda can come back. In fact, let us know in the comment section below. Guys, I read your comments on these too, so...
There we go, guys. Love it, love it. Yeah, love both takes. I mean, this one is generic just to affect monsters. Card is broken, is on the list for a reason. I'm always a proponent. Let things come back. You can get a test run. If it's too broken, just slap it right back. But they don't like doing that. They like their decisions to be firm. If they let things come back, then more of like permanence, not like let it come back, then put it back on the list and things of that nature. But yeah,
I'll be back in one side.
There we go. Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. So again, Vengeful. You're gonna probably get to play this card, most likely, hopefully. So we'll see what happens with this.
I'm sure, really hoping so, man. I don't know, down the line. I really like.
Yeah, so. No, you're kind of biased, so I can't blame you for that one. Yep. Then here we have Maxx. Again, a card that we touch base on. Here in this Market Watch earlier, we were making references to Maxx because the card is so iconic. Especially with regards to the ban list and just ban list applications. A lot of drama going on around this card always. Should it come back to 1? Should it come back? If it's coming back to 1, might as well 3, or it should never come back, or maybe the 2, that fine balance. So again, maybe the 4. Hey, playsets are 4s in Pokemon and other games, right? So, hey, 4 Maxx. The whole point is, guys, that this card, honestly, it's already been declared as a reprint in Stampede. So with that said, again, as a Prismatic, this is the Speed Duel. I love Speed Duel cardboard stock, so I personally can't wait to get exposure to this one as it continues to crash down and we expect an actual reprint in Stampede. But again, people are going to be looking forward to the Quarter Century Secret Rares and potentially the Platinum Secret that is coming in Stampede, like me as well. I'm looking forward to this card finally getting reprinted. I need a playset of this for my Tengu deck. I play Agents, so I need a playset of this. And in that format, it's running rampant. Plus, again, just people wanting to collect Maxx. So, yeah, this one's not too hard of a pick. I think finally, it's getting reprinted in Stampede. But, I mean, a lot of people say, no, it'll never come off. I think it should. Give it to... There's already enough broken cards. I get it. There's just some cards on the list that they're too broken or they would affect the balance of, Yu-Gi-Oh! And the competitiveness and the, the playability angle of things. I understand. But honestly... Just if you're reprinting this, give it to us at 1. Just give it to us, please. Even the kitty cat wants Maxx to come back to 1. So let's listen.
You want Maxx to come back to 1?
There we go. Hey, look at that. Hey, there's your answer, guys. So yeah. So
what he wants to say something.
You see.
What do you want to say, Moshi?
Love it. Look at that, man. The kitty cat.
Oh man, I don't know if you can hear it, but he's purring like crazy.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, I don't know you want to go next, Saki or Vengeful? What do you think about Maxx?
We'll go Saki. We'll keep Saki.
All right, so go ahead, Saki. What do you think about this beautiful card? Is it coming back to 1 ever? No, never? What's your take? I mean, you said it's a matter of when, right? So what do you think about this one? When is that when?
They already gave us back Maxx. They just made money on it. It's called Mulcharmies. Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you here. I will say this. I'm glad we're getting this as a QC. It's cool if it stays banned. I'm fine with that. But this is a card that should have had that legacy printing. They took it out of our Rarity 1. If you guys don't know, the Rarity 1 for OCG and TCG are basically matched. I think Maxx might be actually the only thing it's
the
not.
Only one.
So,
yeah.
Only one, yeah. So I'm happy to finally see this card just get reprinted in general.
That's a great point. Yeah, before Vengeful goes, I don't know if they're giving it to us in Stampede. Why not just give it to us in Rarity 1? Unless they might unban it. I mean, just something to, some food for thought. So what do you think about this one, Vengeful?
I will say I want this banned because here's the thing.
Okay.
You also now you're not running 3 Maxx in every deck. You're running 3 Maxx and 3 Cross out in every deck.
No, but yeah. Then, yeah, but Called by the Grave.
Called by the Grave is not a choice that is, do I want the strong one of or not? Now it's mandatory. So now...
No, but it's going to 2, right, Saki? If this comes back, Called by the Grave needs to get bumped up, right, Saki?
Yeah.
It can't be a one-way street. Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Yeah, because literally every deck will now be 33 cards because there is no... And there, you cannot competitively run Play without these cards. You must have a Call by Grave. It is not optional. You must play Maxx. It is not optional. You must play Crossout. That is not optional. You must play all 3 of those cards.
Here we go. There we go. So what's
It
your
just
take?
is what it is.
What's your take, Vengeful, on this beautiful card?
Maxx to 3 in the TCG is something I would love to see. Because like what you're saying, it does force a different deck play. You got the Crosouts, you have the Call Advise, which would hopefully go to 2 if Maxx goes to 3. But I'm sick and tired of the numbers we're seeing today. They're like, I got like so many starters and in-engine archetypes, and then I have like 18 extra deck cards, so I have like 3 hand traps every time I open up a 5-card intro to 40 card. I'm so tired of it, dude. And it's like if you play anything different, everyone laughs at you, and it's like, bro, what the hell is the matter with you, dude? It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's
He's not
dumb.
wrong.
It's so
That's a
trash,
good
bro.
point, man. That's
Like,
a
come
good
on,
point.
man. I remember back in the day, like, I have all the cards, and I chose these 40s to be my deck. Now they're like, yeah, I chose the same 40 as the next guy, too. You know, like, it's just like, holy shit. I can't handle it. It's like you saw, like, the 3v3 tournament, and they're, like, the exact same freaking deck.
That's
except in a different
crazy.
order.
That's
It's
a
like, bro,
great
get the hell out
point.
of
Literally,
here.
you
What the
see
hell's
deck
wrong?
profile after deck profile, the same ones. No creativity. I mean, at that level, I guess you lose that.
My favorite's when they're like, I'm in Dueling Book and I'm testing my deck, and it's the deck that just won the most recent fucking nationals.
That's
It's
true.
like,
That's a
like,
good
what?
point. That's a
Like, what do you let me tell you, man, the deck works. You don't
Hey,
need
it's
to test
my deck. I bought the cards, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so
You gotta love
Maxx
it.
to 3, switch it up a bit. I understand where people like come from. Like the big thing too is like in TCG we do have like the players that we do see the names over and over. I mean, go back to the 3v3 is Jesse Cotton, you know, like we got Couch, we got all the players that you see, and it is kind of a sign of a good format when you see the same names like popping up over and over and over. I think that means it's like the skill expression showing itself. It's better than like a random winner every single week, because then it's like, well, then is it like skill or is it you're just drawing better?
Look at
Because
this
that
pie
feels bad
chart.
too,
Look at this
you know?
beautiful pie chart. What would Maxx do to a pie chart like this? You know what I mean? Look at that. Look at that. Look at the top. Look at all these decks.
I wouldn't
man.
say would like ruin it. I think it'd swap it around a bit.
Okay.
I think different decks would play.
Yeah.
Because when you look over at OCG, they still have like really massive turnouts for certain builds. And
There
stuff
you go.
Like that.
That's
So
an excellent point.
it would just depend. Like I think Europe would have more fun with it than we would over here. But
All right. Yeah, it'd be more of a rotation. So that is
Yeah.
a great point. All right. And then we have a couple of bonus cards here other than, you know, the last couple of ones, you know, because I thought about Saki in the sense he's always talking about breakthrough skill. I just saw it down here. And then I saw Necro Valley. And then I'm like, you know, just as a couple of bonuses, just to listen to Saki and Vengeful. We'll talk about both of them at a time, you know, to not spend too much time on these. But honestly, Saki has always been a proponent of breakthrough skill getting reprinted in Stampede. And I've always mentioned as well, you know, about Necro Valley, just an iconic Yu-Gi-Oh card field spell. So, Saki, what do you think about both of these cards coming in Stampede?
I think that Necro Valley should have got a reprint a long time ago, even before this. This card was getting bought out in tier limit format, which was, you know, during 2021, I want to say 2022. We always wanted to reprint this card. It wasn't no rarity collections, no Battles of Legends. I don't know why Konami was smoking. And then all of a sudden, for the final Speed Duel product, I guess they knew this was a hitter. So they gave us this version. Now, I personally think that this needed to be in Rarity Collection. It absolutely deserves its spot as a Legacy card. So what I told my chat, and I'll tell you guys on Jay's channel as well, is when you're at a crossroads for a card like this where, wow, $3 is really good, it's really cheap. But if it's in Bonanza, you know, now granted, if we do what they did with not Stampede, but Bonanza, where we have $40 QCs and then the plats go up to $10, secrets at $3 are completely fine. But assuming that won't happen, and I guess this is a Speed Duel card, I would most likely keep tabs on this card. That's something everyone thinks, oh, you get this now. You shouldn't get this. But nobody tells you to keep tabs on something, right? Now, obviously, we're all just doing this for entertainment purposes, right? You know, not financial advisors. I would keep an eye on this card, and now we know that Stampede is coming out soon. So how about we keep this, like, bookmarked in the back of our heads, and when we get that list, if we see the list and we see the full list, and Necro Valley is not there, maybe we should drive these. And let's say we were thinking about getting a playset. We should take that and put it to the top of our list above other cards. Whereas if we see it in Stampede, maybe we could be like, take your foot off the gas. Maybe, probably not.
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend for that and Breakthrough Skill. Now, granted, Fiendish Chain's another card that I want to see in Bonanza as well. I think that would be fantastic. I don't know how much hat they're thinking about in Bonanza. Konami is aware that hat is a format. But again, I told people just keep it in the back of your head. That's how I'm gonna tell you about those cards. That's the best option.
Yeah, before we hear Vengeful, I mean, yeah, like Saki said, keep these bookmarked. You never know if we expect reprints, but just in case they don't, you want to come in and pick these up immediately if that would be the case. But great take on these. And how about you, Vengeful? What do you think about these two broken cards?
Oh, Necro Valley definitely is going to be put in one of those sets. That's like the perfect field spell to include. Sure. I'll be honest. Like that's a Konami move right there. Yeah. Like right there. I mean, I was more surprised some of the stuff from Odeon support wasn't just like given the Gravekeeper like subtext. Honestly, just like, oh, this card is just low key a Gravekeeper as well. So, yeah. And then my Breakthrough Skill, it's one that's a card I haven't heard the name of in a very long time. So that's a good one. Yeah, and I know like you just mentioned the alternate formats, but like hat and stuff, but definitely a card they could throw in. I think that we'll just see a reprint of this card eventually in general at some point, whether it's a rarity collection or not. So those are actually decent ones. I mean, I think we could definitely see Necro Valley. Absolutely. Like you mentioned, just too long without that. I definitely
fourth number wants to talk.
Yeah, I mean, quarter century. Yeah, I mean, this card as a quarter century would be beautiful. Honestly, and like Saki said, I think Fiendish Chain should have been in this product in Battle City Finals as a prismatic. It would have looked gorgeous as well, but hopefully they left that for Stampede. So yeah, the last card is Glow Bulb, a card that we've been touching base on the channel. We talked about it at 5 bones, and as we can see here, guys, this is my personal pick. Told you guys to pick it up at 5.6. Is now at 16. He's getting cleaned out, pushing 25s and beyond at the bottom of the page, 2 pages only. I mean, if we clean this out janitor style, shout out to Sage, that is our guy. Look at that, 11 listings here, 16 bones. It goes essentially almost at 30s. We told you guys to pick this card up literally at the lows. You can't make this stuff up. I'm sorry, it wasn't me, it was this guy right here, the crystal ball. Yeah, I failed to give the proper credit here. Shout out to the crystal ball for making that call, and shout out to Andrew right here, member of the channel, taking profits. That's what you love to see, man, putting into work. I know Andrew, he got this at 5.6 bones. He's about to get that clean 3x and run for them hills. The game is too easy. What do you think? Should we get this at 1, Saki? I personally think it's time to give this to 1. There's already too many broken cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! To be worrying about one measly glow bulb. What do you think about this one, Saki?
Bro, I feel like me and Jay were like Kid Trunks and like Kid Goku. We just like fusion hard because we both, when we saw this QC at 5, said I think like the same day without even talking to each other. We were linked up like super rare Caius, if for those who are old subscribers.
Right.
Because this is also one of my favorite banned cards right now. I love Glow Bulb. I love Plank Plant. This allows you to go into Nat Beast really easily, and Nat Beast is one heck of a card. With another QC that I talked about. But beautiful card. I fully agree. Can we look at the plats? I actually talked to people
that's what I was going to say.
Plats at 60 cents. Because this is most likely the version. Oh, that's a big spike. This is most likely the version people are going to gravitate towards if this card gets unbanned, because they're going to be like, guys, the QC's at 20. I don't want them. Ultras at whatever they are from Star Strike Blast. I don't want them. Plats at $2-3. I can handle that, though.
Yeah,
and there you go.
That's an excellent take. Yeah, I mean, I had the plat pulled up right there to listen to Saki.
Even right now, plats at 70 cents are very good.
Hey, shekels, anything in shekels, don't let this be Billy's on you. Make sure you're early. The volume is coming in strong. Listen to Saki, and now let's listen to Vengeful.
Yeah, Glow Up at $5 is a steal. I'm not gonna lie, that card's insane. I mean, it's one of those where it's like you look at the price of like what it's floating around with at a higher end rarity and what the old rarities used to be with. It's kind of like the Chaos Hunter scenario where like Chaos Hunter was like down to like $2, and it's like, well, how much were secrets of this card at one point? So you gotta realize like you just know you're not gonna lose on that. There's no reason not to actually be picking up these cards. They're gonna go up in value. You're definitely gonna be making your money back and then some at this point. So Glow Up Bulb is a card, like you said, not only can it go up in price as we're seeing, but it could potentially come off the list. I think this is a little bit more of a strong card compared to like a lot of the cards on the list that could potentially be dripped off. But it's a card that I think we will definitely be seeing go to 1, especially if we keep the Halka Febrax banned. So.
Yeah, that was my take in our last video. Remember, I was like, yeah, just bring it back. Yeah, that was super fun, man. That was super fun. But yeah, hey, listen to Saki, pick up the penny stock right here. You know, the quarter century, I'd be thinking about selling if I see these in the 20s or 30s because things are getting ridiculous. But all in all, hopefully it comes back to 1. You know, that's my take. So guys, again,
where it's at anyway.
Again, to conclude, listen to Saki, the OGs. You guys already know right here. Link in the description down below. EA, we had what, an hour plus listening to Saki, to Vengeful, and myself. You guys get out of living under a rock. Come over here. Click that darn link, the first one you'll see. Come over here, sub, ring that bell. Make sure you subscribe to Team Sakurasu and to Vengeful Shadows. We had an amazing collab. You know, I'm definitely not the last. So look forward to more of these guys. And again, you know, sub to your boy as well. You know, we continue our journey towards 10K. Just continue to grind our way to success, as we like to say here on the channel. And before getting out of here, just giving, you know, a last shot to each one of you boys. Just how was it? How did he like it? Any last words for the community? Things that people should be, you know, on the lookout? Just your last take, or why should people be subscribing to the channel? Let's start with Saki and then proceed to Vengeful.
So normally I say come sub and I give you a reason why, but I actually want to take a second to thank the people from Jay's community for actually not only giving me a try, but you know, coming to the channel, giving me a shot, you know, liking his videos with me on it, because me and Jay, we always have a lot of fun, and Vengeful as well. We always have a lot of fun filming these. Like, we talk a lot before the video even like starts recording. Like, we're in a call for always like about an hour at this point. It's like a ritual. We think we're gonna start in 5 minutes, and we're not. What do you want? Kitty's so cute. Oh, this is the first 4-member collab, technically.
Yeah, technically, right? Kitty can't. Hey, Kitty's here for sure.
Yeah, but you know, just thank you guys for giving me a chance. If you guys want more Market Watch goodness, if you want to know cards to get before they skyrocket, my channel excels in that. It really does excel. I tell people where I think it could go, why it can go up, if something's going to go up for some time or not. Now, granted, we are always wrong at times.
For sure,
right?
For sure.
Keep that in mind. But if you guys like Jay's content, you know, come over to mine. You know, come over to mine. We're always having some fun too. Jay's on it sometimes as well. So you know how you guys sometimes watch Jay's channel. I'm here. You're like, yeah, well, why not? You know, Saki's here. It's okay. I still got my Jay, right? For sure. It's kind of like, you know, come over to my channel sometimes.
Yeah,
I'll have Jay. You know, and Vengeful. It's gonna be great. Check out the 5 Yu-Gi-Oh cards out of your trade binder. Granted, it's more like 4 because one of them got bought out. But hey, I tell people, if you come to that video late, it's on you.
Hey, you got that pull, man. You out here manipulating the markets, man. You're a scalper, like I was told, called by, man. Man, guys, listen to Saki. Make sure you subscribe, and let's listen to Vengeful right here. Make sure you guys subscribe as well. So yeah, just last thoughts. Any last thoughts, Vengeful?
Yeah, again, thank you for having me on, and honestly, thank your viewers as well for, you know, making all this possible. And anytime I'm on, I get a boosted sub, so thank you guys as well, and hopefully you do enjoy the content we have there. As we mentioned here, many market watches, just trying to make sure we get cards into the hands of everyone that they need it, get them cheap well before they spike up, because we know it always does feel bad when you're on the opposite end of that whole thing, and the prices in this game do spike fast, especially when you're dealing with these quarter-century secret rares, okay? So definitely hop over to the channel, be checking out some of the content, get cards well before they go up in price, and again, make sure you're equipped for the future meta games, whether that's with the top 10 cards of the sets or the month or the how to beat the meta game. And again, a lot of those are tied together, so you might see some of the cards on one video debuted in another, because, you know, that's kind of how the trends are with Konami. When one card is good against all the meta decks, it's going to go up in price, especially when they just printed it as a quarter-century secret. So definitely, hopefully, you guys hop over and enjoy your stay. And again, thank you again, Fresh, for having us over.
For sure. Man. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for being on here, guys. Make sure you subscribe to them, guys. We'll make sure that's the first link down in the description down below. And again, an hour plus of great collab content. We love to collab here, as you guys can see. Just so much value to offer, not just in the individual channels, but also in the power of collaboration. So guys, if you made it this far out, hopefully you guys enjoyed the content. Take advantage of this great Market Watch content and value. You guys already know. All right. Thank you so much for your time, for your support, for your attention. Stay
Stay fresh.